New tonight, you can now track the frequency and intensity of earthquake activity across the state in real time. Channel 5's Carolina Cruz spoke with a researcher who says the number of earthquakes has increased over the past decade in Texas.
Earthquakes don't happen often in Texas on a big scale. However, researchers are noticing tremors and minor quakes taking place more frequently. The University of Texas at Austin hopes to get ahead of this changing pattern to figure out what's causing it. An earthquake is the aftermath of shift underground. The vibrations can last seconds to minutes, causing extensive destruction. Researchers at UT Austin are gaining ground on tracking Mother Nature. Staff finished installing an earthquake monitoring system last week. It's made up of 80 stations throughout the state, half permanent, half portable.
Those stations are all tied together in the TexNet network, and now we have this website tool where people can go to look at earthquakes in Texas, investigate where they are happening and when for themselves, and if you're interested or you're a researcher, then you can download the data for your own use.
The stations run detailed data, including location, depth, size, and frequency of the earthquakes. Research scientist Peter Henning says the grid is the first major step in answering many unknowns causing the uphill trend.
Understanding earthquakes, whether they're from natural causes or human-induced causes, is a very important topic in geoscience and geology. We're going to learn a lot about what causes earthquakes in the first place. We're going to learn if there are cases where human-induced earthquakes have occurred.
Hennings is referring to the deep disposal of wastewater generated from oil and natural gas wells. When obtaining oil and gas, water is often co-produced. The water that rises to the surface needs to be disposed of using an injection well. Those analyzing the data want to figure out how many tremors are happening for natural causes and how many are linked to oil production.
Lots of studies that have suggested a link to the deep disposal of wastewater by a well injection. And so that is one of the hypotheses that we're investigating.
The group of researchers want to draw their own conclusions. They hope the system answers the question why behind the quakes. They say it needs to be answered to figure out how to halt or slow the upward trend. Right now, there aren't any units in the Rio Grande Valley. The closest one to us is about 2 hours north in Hebronville. We're told as researchers continue tracking the tremors, they'll move the monitoring stations accordingly. Reporting in the studio, Carolina Cruz, Channel 5 News at 10:30.